Welcome to DiverseViewChannel. Today, we delve into a classic piece of cinema with a review of The Small Backroom, a groundbreaking wartime drama by the legendary filmmakers Powell and Pressburger. This film is renowned for its innovative storytelling and impactful themes set against the backdrop of World War II. Join us as we explore the nuances and significance of this cinematic gem. In truth, this is not as interesting a part for Byron, who is more softly and gently shot and lit than in Black Narcissus, but she brings warmth to a saintly role. Susan lives next door to Sammy, and part of the poignancy of his refusal to remove the fake foot lies in the implication that, for all their quasi-domestic intimacy, they may not yet have slept together, or if they have, the experience has been as tense as everything else in their relationship. Certainly, office politics mean that they cannot openly acknowledge that they are together. The story begins when a personable young officer, Captain Stewart, Michael Goff, asks Sammy for his help in finding ways to deactivate sinister new booby trap devices that the Nazis are dropping during their air raids. And in this quest lies the film's subtle, brilliant tension. How did Sammy lose his foot? No one ever says. But by the story's end, the answer is plain enough. So far from being a backroom boy, Sammy is a courageous man of action. He may have lost his foot, but not his nerve. Set against the clarity and urgency of the military mission is a backwash of pettiness and intrigue, a series of insidious problems as dangerous but innocuous seeming as the Germans' nasty little unexploded bombs. Sammy loathes the civil servant in charge, R.B. Waring, Jack Hawkins, a time server trying to push through a new kind of artillery gun in the face of military skepticism and Sammy's own research indicating that the weapon is ineffective. Professor Mayer's own position is dependent on the continued existence of a certain pompous War Office minister, Robert Morley, whose imminent sacking may herald a top-down change of personnel. Sammy is too grumpily self-pitying and proud to fight for his department's existence, or indeed to jockey for the top job himself. This all comes to a head in an extraordinary committee room sequence in which the top brass and the civil servants have an ill-tempered discussion in the presence of a framed photograph of Winston Churchill, the statesman who of course famously tried to scupper, on patriotic grounds, the Powell and Pressburger satire The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. The wretchedly formal and conceited waffle is almost inaudible against the background of drilling and construction work taking place outside. We absorb the incompetence and absurdity of all this as the camera tracks along the stuffy faces. It is an almost surreal scene, although the really surreal moment, perhaps inspired by Hitchcock's Spellbound or Wilder's The Lost Weekend, comes when Sammy has a near breakdown trying to resist the lure of whiskey. The final scene is notable for a vivid new character, a gutsy, forthright, and kittenishly beautiful ATS Corporal, Renee Asherson, who has to relay on a radio headset all of Sammy's debonair commentary as he crouches all alone on the beach, defusing a bomb. It is a character to compare with Kim Hunter's U.S. Air Force radio operator talking to David Niven at the beginning of A Matter of Life and Death. The strength and confidence in Powell and Pressburger's filmmaking is a pleasure, as is their distinctive love of adventure and romance. The Small Backroom is on digital platforms, DVD, and Blu-ray from June 3. Kathleen Byron and David Farrar were unforgettable presences in the 1947 Powell and Pressburger classic Black Narcissus, playing a hysterical nun and the taciturn colonial agent with whom she is peevishly infatuated. The filmmakers reunited these remarkable performers 2 years later for this intimate, intense wartime drama thriller, brilliant on the emotional misery, low-level dread, and petty office politics of wartime government. It takes place mostly in London's noirish darkness and rain, except for the sensational final sequence in the bright sunlight of Chesil Beach in Dorset, adapted from an autobiographical novel by military scientist Nigel Balchin. The Small Backroom is a work that shows the filmmakers pushing, brilliantly, at the conventions and constraints of a regular wartime period drama. Any number of British directors might have wanted to take on this story. But the Powell and Pressburger authorial flourishes are irresistible. Farrar plays a role not so very far from his Mr. Dean in Black Narcissus, moody and saturnine. He is Sammy, a civilian scientist, or backroom boffin, working for a Professor Mayer, Milton Rosemeyer, in 1943 in an ad hoc research department set up by the War Office. Sammy is depressive and an alcoholic, driven to despair by incessant pain from a prosthetic foot which, through vanity and stubbornness, he refuses to take off in the presence of his girlfriend, Susan, his boss's secretary, radiantly played by Byron. Thank you for watching. The Small Backroom remains a testament to the genius of Powell and Pressburger. If you found this review insightful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to DiverseViewChannel for more in-depth analyses of classic and contemporary films. See you in the next video.